Thank you, Jeannie. Welcome, everybody. Thank you. My name is Martha Bergstedt. I am the Vice President of Strategic Sourcing here at Novant Health. As the Vice President of Strategic Sourcing, my team and I are responsible for managing non-labor spend. So what's non-labor spend? It's every dollar that Novant Health sends out to parties, vendors, suppliers, contractors that is not our team members. Last year, Novant Health spent $1.9 billion in non-labor spend. We're just talking about capital. We do. Of those, 800 million are currently constantly being managed transparently by strategic sourcing. What do I mean by that? At any point in time, strategic sourcing can tell you of that 800 million, where are we spending those dollars, if there's pricing opportunity, if there's utilization opportunity for that. So you might be wondering, well, what about the rest? Where's that $1 billion going? Well, why are you not managing that? That's where my vision comes in. I want to be able to deliver the same amount of transparency and management on the rest of that spend. The services that are currently being managed with processes and technology that in my mind is outdated and it needs to be updated. Let me tell you a story. Same Bora. She is a strategic sourcing manager in my team. She is brilliant and is responsible for revenue cycle, human resources, and actually has just worked with Denise on a temporary labor staffing contract, supporting us going forward. Working very closely with business owners such as yourselves, Sam was able to deliver about $2 million worth of savings in this contract. When Denise picks up the phone and calls Sam and says, Sam, thank you so much for your great work. How are we doing? In order to answer that question, Sam has to get in her car, drive to Frontis Plaza, pull out a stack of invoices for a month, 2 months, half a year. It might take her 20 minutes, it might take her an hour, drive back to her office, and input all of those paper invoices into an Excel spreadsheet. Maybe after a day or 2 or 5, she'll be able to answer Denise with information as to how well we're doing on our expenses for that contract, whether or not our per diem rates, what we needed it to be, whether or not we're expecting them to save what we thought we were going to save. I think that needs to change. Imagine with me an area in which our processes and our technology allow for Sam to receive that same call from Denise, and instead of driving and pulling and taking a long time to assess it, she can at a push of a button be able to tell her, yes, this is how we're doing against the contract. This is where we see areas of opportunity. Not only that, where I think that my vision is really going to deliver is that Denise is not going to have to make that call. Sam will proactively share this information with unit leaders, our leaders, and empower them to make decisions proactively on their spend. Because she'll be able to share with them if we are actually utilizing more travel in Huntersville than in Matthews. We are going to be able to see that and proactively make decisions and allow them to make those decisions that allow us to provide more value back to Novant Health. I really think that it's imperative for us to start managing that better. If we want to stay ahead, if we want to fund all these beautiful visions that you have in front of us, we really need to start being more flexible, being able to reallocate some of those current funds back into our own teams, into our capital, into our team members, so we can continue to provide that remarkable patient experience. Thank you. I can take your questions.
Questions for Martha? Anybody?
So like I asked Alicia, what is your ask of us? What can we do?
My ask is to allow me to work with Angela and with your leaders, because a lot of this impacts what your teams do on a day-to-day basis. So we can change the process on them currently entering transactions that they get in an invoice from a vendor and putting it in a voucher and sending it to AP. It is going to take, I believe, changing process and changing technology to be able to enable us to do that. That's my ask.
So you mentioned, it's a great job. You mentioned about $1 billion in spend.
Correct.
That was sort of manually managed to date. What do you think the financial opportunity is for us as an organization of that $1 billion by improving this process? And what are the other benefits that you think we will see as an organization by doing this?
You're going to hold me to that number? So let me answer that with experience. On the $800 million that we manage, we deliver annually, year over year, and it helps that my one-up is here, about 10% return. Every year, we're able to find additional either pricing utilization or reassessment opportunity on that. So 10% of $1 billion is a very large number, so I'm afraid to even say it. But I can tell you that at least 5 is easily attainable. And you said what other benefits are there? Well, I actually think enabling us, the OR manager that already has to manage cases and manage time and be able to provide a great experience, we're right now asking them to be an expert on intraoperative monitoring services, on perfusion services. We're asking them to know what their rate is. We're asking them to know, to verify how much that company has worked. And I'm not asking them to stop managing the budgets. I think that that's a core responsibility that it needs to continue. But I really do think allowing them to make those decisions easier and not to have to be the experts so they know and the system tells them this is the rate for this and this is the rate for that so they can enter it and move on is something that will be long overdue and will help additionally. I can't measure the dollars and cents on that, but I think that that is most certainly another benefit for that.
So I think it's a great vision. So I have a little insight to that. But I also like to understand with that vision, knowing your personality and your detail and your expertise, how are you going to stay at the vision level and bring your team along with that vision?
It helps that I already have a very engaged team. I have sourcing leaders and contract administrators that are up and ready to do this because they've done it with the products and the services and with the drugs where we partner with pharmacy. It does, I really do think that some of me needs to continue, to tell you the truth, because I think without constantly reminding about what the end goal looks like, I'm worried that the project could turn into very many answers to many things that don't need to be it. You're about to, I hope in a couple of months, see a change in our expenses. So you know how we currently fill out those lovely vouchers and they get sent out and then you get a pink slip because you forgot to sign it or blue or whatever that is. We're going to get a new system called Concur that would allow us to electronically enter that information, that will vet out whether or not the rules associated with approvals are there and then automatically pay. I don't think we need 10 Concurs. Katie's happy. I think that there is an answer out there that can take care of 80% of our issues without having to buy different software for each one of them. So I know that that was a longer answer, more than expected, but I think that that's why I need to continue to be involved in it and not necessarily go to the weeds, but continue to provide guidance for this.
Okay, that was the best definition ever that I've heard of non-later spend. So,
Everything else goes to our team.
I thought your ask was clear and it was around process and automation versus the manual process. I like the way that you highlighted the work of your team member, Sam, and then also about how your vision would impact Sam and me and the vision on others. I thought that was very creative, the way you did that. Also, the sign of an excellent leader is when you're giving your team credit, and you did that in that answer just as well. And so I know you do that very frequently, you develop your team. But you had an excellent presence, you have a nice voice, cadence, you're easy to listen to. I'm leaning into you to hear and understand more. And you appeared very comfortable. And I felt your pride, your energy, and your desire to make this happen. So, under my suggestions for next time, it was be clear of your asking me, what do you want me to do today, leaving here? And if you had a voucher, I'm sure there'd be something you want me to sign. But what is, for us, supporting the system and the process, but what do we want to leave to make this happen for you?
Well, as you all know, our approval for IT projects is in flux, right? We are understanding how we're going to prioritize. And I think that from now until you have something in front of you that says, here is a different software and a process for us to up to that, I need your feedback from your team. I need for you to go back to your leaders and tell them, hey, they're gonna try this. What do you think they should be focusing on? So when it comes time to actually deliver on that software that I really think that we need to deliver, that they're ready and that they can embrace it and be part of the change and not necessarily be reluctant to change what they have been doing for 10 or 20 years.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
So we'll move into thoughts. What about her vision did you like and understand and rallied around potentially, and then things she did well and suggestions for next time? So any of those.
Martha, I thought you did a number of things really well, and I agree